what is the hardest workout you've ever done?
Oh my gosh. You said you were going to give me something super hard on the spot.
This one came to me. I was just curious.
Honestly, I remember this workout very clearly. I don't know that's the hardest physical task I've ever done, but it was one of those where I hit like a mental wall that was really rough. And it was the Lazar Memorial workout. Like when they first came out with that after the games.
Yeah.
We did it. Seth programmed it as a group class. And, I mean, that was a couple years ago. My fitness was a little different than...
Yeah, it was
24.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
So 3, yeah.
So, yeah, my fitness was a little different than it is now. And, of course, I chose to RX the workout. Lots of handstand push-ups is what I remember.
Yeah, is it handstand push-ups, I think there's bar muscle-ups in there. I don't remember exactly.
All I remember is being on the wall doing single handstand push-ups and having to come down and like reset and then go back up, and I was just so uncomfortable. Like I was failing reps. Like I think I was failing more reps than I was actually getting.
Right.
But in my mind, I'm like, this is a memorial workout, like for a fellow CrossFitter, and like everyone else had done it. There were a lot of other coaches in class that day. Like Ken and Ian were in class.
Oh yeah, Ken was here. Yeah.
I was struggling, and like I think everyone at some point has maybe been in a point in a workout where it's like the emotions take over.
Yeah.
And I was crying.
Oh yeah.
Doing handstand push-ups and failing handstand push-ups. And like it was just such a core memory. But what I remember most is there were I think I remember Ian and Ken both being over there and both just like gently supporting me through it.
You got
like,
it. Yeah.
You got it. Like just keep, because they knew I wasn't going to quit.
Yeah.
So they were like, just keep. You got this. You got this. I was the last one done, like by a lot.
And
so
those the reason I wanted to pull in that memory, because you understand this perspective when it comes like doing hard things, because you've lost a lot of weight and you've had that journey, and so have I. I remember, and I think this is not a diss or undercut of those that don't ever go through a phase like this, but what a lot of people don't realize is when you are extremely overweight is like how bad it really is until you change.
Yeah.
And then it's like you start to realize how much harder your life really was because of the lifestyle that you were living. And it's like, it's a revelation, but you start to realize how mentally so bad you actually were in like that like state of your life just because of just your lifestyle. Like I like remember mentally, like I don't remember in the moment, but now that I look back, I could tell like my energy levels, my clarity, my mentality, just everything. It wasn't in a great spot. Now where I'm at now, and all the things I can do, yes, like my fitness is in a great spot, but that version of me, regardless of being overweight, would never have done half the stuff I've done now.
Yeah.
And there's just like there is like a growth there, and it's like a revelation, but I think those hard things, like those transformations, but even doing those hard workouts are one of those things that you and I both really do well with. We like to suffer. We like to suffer.
We like to suffer.
We like to inflict internal pain and physical pain to ourselves in a healthy way, but we're very good at like just getting into that spot and just grinding and just never letting it beat us. But I think that is like we can contribute that to that lifestyle that we once had, and we know that version of ourselves that we don't ever want to go back to. So now when we're here and it's like, one, I'm never going to go back there, but two, I'm proving myself more than I ever have, and I'm going to keep pushing forward kind of thing. And I think it's that journey that really like it's just a key characteristic to have, right? It's a key experience, and we'll dive more into it as we kind of get going. But I think that's why I wanted to open with. I don't know why it came to me. I was like, what's the hardest workout you ever did?
Yeah.
But it's fun to start with those moments, because there are times, in life that we do hard things too. And I think what we do in here also makes those things way easier to navigate.
Absolutely.
And so, but we'll continue to dive into those things. But with that being said, we'll introduce yourself now, because we haven't formally brought your name on board. But you can tell us introduce your name, say your name. Let's go your position here at CrossFit Angola, some of the couple things you do here, or all the things you do here. And then you can, if you want to, you can mention your current job if you like.
So name's Carmyn Hoddle. I am a part-time coach here at CrossFit Angola. Work full-time at Steuben County Community Foundation, which I will mention it because I think it's relevant in that both of my jobs are very community-oriented in their own ways. I think that's what sparks a lot of passion for it for me. Here at the gym, I coach roughly 5 classes a week, do some personal trainings, do some on-ramps. So when we get new members, I do take them through on-ramp processes, just as my time and schedule allow. So,
absolutely. Yeah. And you also do what? You coach the...
Oh, yeah. I coach the kids class, our brand new kids class. And that started with doing the kids camp for the first time this summer, which was really fun. And then, we're a weekend now to the kids class. I'm learning a lot. We opened it up to some younger kiddos and it's been really fun.
It's an experience. I remember when I first started off here in 2020, after I got out of COVID, I started a kids class and I ran it for, it was two-ish years, I think. And it's it's fun. It's so fun. It's very fun, but it is a completely different experience than anything else. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't say it in a bad way, but it is just one of those ones where it's like...
We might have to talk more afterward, though, because we've done the 3rd and 5th graders. Like, 3rd through 5th grade is one beast. We did open kids class to 1st grade. So I actually have a group of... I have 10 kids, and half of them are 1st grade age boys. So
that's where the fun
they are
is.
a lot of fun. My hands are full.
Absolutely. So, so you do a lot here. You've started to assimilate into the CrossFit team. Gosh, it's been almost 2 years now.
I just hit my full year of coaching.
Is it full year?
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. I started last summer, so just a little over a year.
Okay, so it's a little over a year. Okay, so a little over a year you've been a coach, but you've been a member. Do you remember how long you've been a member?
I came back to the gym in 2022. So 4 years. Yeah.
So 4 years a member, but that wasn't where your initial started because you initially were a member. Were you?
I was a founding member.
Yeah, so you were a founding member. So you were a founding member, and then there was a lapse, and then you came back. So I think that's where we're going to take this conversation now. Just kind of talk about your journey before we kind of get a little bit into more of your like coaching style, some of the things that brought you to coaching. Let's start with Carmyn before she got to CrossFit Angola or her initial entrance into CrossFit, how that process went, and then kind of how that journey unfolded.
Yeah, I think my path is something that would resonate with a lot of people. So I grew up playing sports, like always was in and out of different sports teams, loved it.
You were an athlete? I'm just kidding.
I know. Right back at you, James.
I was a 6-sport athlete. What sports did you play?
So I played soccer. That was like my main thing that I loved. And then I did run track mostly as like a spring sport to do. And I played basketball. I know
team basketball or like?
Yes.
Okay.
Like actual basketball.
I'm going to make you shoot a basketball after this.
I did that more for fun, but like soccer and track were my ones, and those were the ones I did all through like high school. And then when I went to college, I actually played on our club soccer team at Valpo. Nice. So we practiced on our own, but would sometimes practice with like the real team. And then we traveled, so we played other schools that had club teams. So that was really fun. But like all through that, like I did sports because I loved it and I loved like the social aspect. I did enjoy pushing myself. Like I always like had a work ethic. But when I was in college, I started running, and I knew I wanted to be a police officer. So that's why I actually went to school for was criminology. And in preparation for the academy, I started running all the time. And in hindsight, I was interning with a local police department there, and there was a girl who was a Valpo grad, played soccer, and she tried so hard to get me to come to CrossFit. That's interesting.
Hard. Now you're like, oh.
I was like, dang it. I should have gone back in 2014 when I was like 20 years old. Right. That would have been great. But
where you be now, right?
I didn't listen, but I ran all the time. I knew going to the academy that I was going to need to have like good aerobic conditioning. I knew I was going to have to be able to do push-ups, sit-ups, like body weight movements. So that was like my main focus, and I just ran. I was a pretty good runner, would run like tons of 5Ks, did half marathons. Did that, went to the State Police Academy, had the fitness I needed to get through that for sure. And that is where I had my true first introduction to CrossFit. Is at the State Police Academy. So
was it like there, like on site?
Like, so the Indiana State Police has a health coordinator. I can't remember his exact title, but Troy Torrance is his name. At the time, and I think they're closing the gym now, but he and his wife owned CrossFit Fishers.
Oh, okay.
And he really brought the CrossFit methodology. Like, he saw how it could benefit law enforcement and wanted to introduce that into the academy setting to try to get new officers to adapt, like, good habits and training habits that they could take with them into their careers. Like, that's truly the first time I touched a barbell. So that would have been in 2015.
Interesting. Okay.
I had the PVC pipe. He taught us how to do cleans and snatches. And I thought, you know, like, I remember doing like 65 pounds for everything and like never touching anything heavier because I didn't know. Like, I just had no idea. We did wall balls. Like, he really was bringing like things that we do here, like true CrossFit methodology, to that world, which was really cool. And I was one of the first classes that he like really got the green light to start doing that. And I know it's progressed a lot since I was there. They've got new facilities and like it's pretty cool.
Equipment and everything like that too now.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah. And he's figured out, like, I actually went back down there and worked on staff as an academy counselor. And by then he was working the recruits through strength training progressions, like throughout the academy, that they could take with them when they graduated and continue to build on. Like, it was really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really, really cool. So those were my first introductions to CrossFit, but I never like did anything to stick with it. I just ran. I liked running. Like you talked about, like liking to bury yourself in that hole. I could run and bury myself in that hole. And I think something else that would resonate with a lot of people is I was definitely of that mindset. I was always like a little overweight. I was never
so have I.
Super. Like even in high school when I was playing sports, like I just always like had a little extra fluff on me. I was never like the naturally skinny kid. Like never had that. So even in college, and then when I went to the state police, I was like, I gotta do cardio to lose weight. Like that was always my mindset. Gotta do all the cardio. So in my mind, like beating myself down, running every single day was gonna get me the body and the outcome I wanted. And what it really did was beat me down over time. It was unsustainable. Then I did the classic, like, let's see how low my calories can go for.
Oh, yeah, where you can restrict it,
Yeah, so now you're doing crazy amounts of high volume cardio and not fueling. Yeah. So then you can only sustain that for so long. So my weight would fluctuate up and down. I never got to where I wanted to be, and then it would go way up to where higher than it ever was before. And that was kind of the up and down roller coaster I was on from the time I graduated the police academy to when I became a founding member here at the gym. So the gym opened in 2019, like January.
Yes, January.
Yeah. So I was one of the founding members. I still have my like founder shirt. And again, like I had some familiarity with CrossFit, but the cool part of being a founding member was we were all new in it together. So like, yeah, I was kind of new, but I actually had like maybe a little more experience than a lot of other people did.
Yeah, because it was like, I think Ken, Carl, like a lot of people, like they do it still even today, but like they weren't like, they never did it before.
We had never done it. Yeah, so I got that opportunity, and I just came to the gym when I could for those first 6 months. I was working the road as a state trooper. Again, like I remember this, and maybe this will resonate with someone too. I would come to class and I would leave and I'd be like, well, that wasn't enough. Because I was so used to beating myself down with cardio.
Oh, yeah.
I was still so in that mindset. So for those first 6 months I came, I loved the community of it. Would come to class, still go run and stuff on my own, but I never stuck with it consistently. I'd come to class like a couple days a week, then I'd fall off for 4 or 5 days at a time, then I'd come for 3 days, or then I'd have a week where I came every day. Like I just could not get myself in a consistent habit or lifestyle of it. And part of it was my own belief about like what I had to be doing. Yeah. And I was also working a job, obviously, where my schedule was all over the place. There was no such thing as consistency or routine or anything like that. So I was kind of just, at the time, I would have told you I was doing my best. Looking back, I wasn't listening to anyone else yet.
It's one of those things where you're kind of like you think you were doing all the right things, the best things, and doing what you could at that time. But it's like, the reality of it is like looking back, you were not listening to what you should be doing, and you were kind of being almost like, it's like a stubborn thing. Like he's like, this is the right thing. I know it is. Like I'm doing fine. Like I'm doing my best. It's like, but there's there's more. You could do something else.
There were.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's definitely stories I was telling myself. Like,
100%.
I mean, that was 7 years ago. And I was still really just stuck of like, well, I'll just never have like visible abs. I'll never have, my body's never going to look a certain way. There's certain things I'm just never going to be able to do because I'm different than these people.
Yeah.
And I definitely had that kind of mindset of like, I just didn't even think certain things were possible for myself. And like, I hadn't even gotten to a point where I could like switch into that like belief that something could change.
Oh yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
Because I remember like that shift is like, it's the hardest shift because it's not like you give up, but you do start telling yourself. You
kind of accept it.
Yeah, you just accept where you're at. You're like, oh, I won't ever make it. Like, I can't. Like, I agree because I remember that mentality where it's like, I'll never have abs. I'll never be able to do this. I always had that thought process. It was just like,
I said it.
Yeah.
I remember saying it to Ken.
Oh yeah.
I hope Ken listens to this. It was like, I knew you could do it. Yeah. But like, I remember saying like, oh no, I'm like genetics. I'm just someone who will never have visible muscles or abs or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, I continued on that path. I was here for about 6 months, and then I got assigned down to the training academy for the state police. So at that point, I was going to and from Plainfield, Indiana, which is down by the airport in Indianapolis. So I canceled my membership because there was just no way.
Yeah.
But while I was at the academy, Troy was there. I kind of low-key hope he listens to this too, because he did make a huge impact on me. And there were other guys that I was working with down there that were really into fitness in different ways. They were doing West Side Barbell, like conjugate method.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would train with them sometimes and like hop in. Like I've always liked training. I just never could do it consistently enough to see what could happen.
The potential.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the hardest, and I think that's even like kind of going with people that will resonate with things, right? That is one of those things that like, especially because we've been through that process, it's like it takes a consistency, and like that consistency is eventually is what's going to reveal it, but it doesn't happen overnight. But it's the hardest thing is like believing in that consistency, because you do it like, and you're like, oh, it feels good, it's fun, but it's like, I'm not really seeing results. So like,
there's not the immediate result that you get if you starve yourself and run 10 miles every day.
Exactly,
because you do see a difference for 5 minutes, and then you can't sustain it. So when I went down to the academy, like I dabbled in all of that. What I have not talked about are my eating and drinking habits.
That's fair.
They were terrible.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried very hard to outwork them through college by running, and even into my early career. And eventually, like as I got older, and those habits arguably got worse with how often and how much I was consuming alcohol, going out to eat, just eating like whatever I wanted. And again, being around people who in my head, like, well, they can eat whatever they want and look a certain way. I must just never be able to do that. And like, I really fell into that trap and very all or nothing. So then, those habits were really outweighing any type of training or exercise I was doing. I was not sleeping at all. All these things that I was hearing I should be doing, but just saying like, that won't work for me. I'm different. This is just my life, and accepting where I was at. And I watched myself from 2019. Again, I always had that yo-yo, but 2019 to like 2022, I got up to like 185 pounds. I'm only 5'3", 5'2", 5'3". Right. Which, the heaviest number I saw on a scale was like 187. I'm certain I was well over that. Like that, I got back on a scale after I had started losing weight. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I just remember trying to put my uniforms on. They didn't fit.
Right.
And like literally like laying on the bed trying to put jeans on, and I'm like, these were my jeans that were big jeans and they don't fit. And just how uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
God, I was so uncomfortable.
Double XL. I bought 2XL and I was like, I'm wearing 2XL.
Yeah.
I'm not a very tall guy either, so it's like it was like a whoa.
I was so uncomfortable. I was carrying it all in like my arms and stomach, face. Like when I look back at pictures, I'm like, how could I not see? Like what my quality of life was. But in the moment, again, like the stories you tell yourself, they were so powerful. And I was struggling in a lot of ways, like physically, mentally. I was not loving my job anymore. Like there was a lot of things happening at once where at a point, and I remember it really clearly, we were on vacation in 2022, and we were sitting at breakfast. It was like the day before we came back from vacation. And I looked at my husband and was just like, I think I need to find a different job. Like, I was recognizing that all the factors in my life were starting to have a really negative health impact. I had gone to the doctor sometime in the few months before that, and my blood pressure was like, it was high. Like, they wanted me to be medicated. And I was in my 20s at that point. And I mean, I knew I was overweight especially for my height. Like, there was a lot happening. Right. And when I was at the doctor's office, he was like, well, tell me about your lifestyle. Good doctor. Not all doctors do that. But he did ask me, like, tell me about your lifestyle. And I started explaining. That was the first time I put words to, like, all the stress, like, all the stress in my life. I started to actually hear myself say out loud how bad a lot of my habits were. Like, how little I was sleeping, how poorly I was eating, how often I was drinking, how little I was moving. And, like, that was like one of the first times, like, I saying it out loud, I was like, like, I'm doing this to myself. Like, this is not at 29 years old, like, they want to medicate me because of choices I'm making in my life. And I explained all of that, and I explained how it was, like, related to job. And he was like, the only person who can change that is you. Like, the job's not going to change. They're not going to change how they operate. Like, the only one who control any of those things is you. And he said it very kindly, and it stuck with me enough that I realized I needed to start to shift in my life. Yeah. And I came back started working the road again, came back to the gym, and I remember, like, the struggle to even make Committed Club, to come in 16 times in 1 month. So we have, like, our come in 16 times a month, get your jump rope. And I, for a few months, actually more than a few months, didn't get Committed Club when I first came back. And I was like, and I was seeing the names of all these people who were coming 16 times a month. And I was like, well, how can I expect to do what they're doing if I'm not even showing up, like, stepping foot in the gym as often as they are? So that was like a little click. And I was like, okay, I just got to get in there 4 times a week, and, like, started doing that. And then I eventually switched jobs in late 2022 is when I transitioned from state police to community foundation. And that's when things really started to shift for me. I got a routine built in, like, do that, like, lifestyle overhaul. Huge. It's huge. And, like, we focus a lot on the stuff we do here in the gym to improve life. And for me, those things outside the gym that were supported, of course, by coming in here regularly and being around people who are doing hard things and, like, we're living that lifestyle, but being able to shift and be able to sleep and pack my lunch and
get movement in your body.
All these things, it made such a huge difference. And I remember when the first month I hit Committed Club, I was like, wow, like 16 times in 1 month I did it. And I did it, and that was, like, almost exactly 4 years ago, and I have done it every month for 40 some months now. Right. Now it's like I wouldn't even think about it. But I look back, and, like, I think it's easy for people to look at you or me who don't know where we came from and to assume, like, well, of course she can do muscle ups, or of course, like, he can do these crazy workouts.
And, like, it looks so easy. It's like, I've worked really hard to get
trust
here.
Me, like, it looks easy, but if you look back on where I was, like, this was not an easy path, and there were so many hurdles. And it also did not happen, like, where I was at that point to where I'm at now in, like, 6 months. No, it's been a 4-year process that I'm still, and I know you are too, like, building on, like, trying to progress. I've been rambling. No, this is a lot. It's such a journey.
And that's, I think, especially, like, I had this conversation with Leanne on her episode, is, like, each coach is so different. And I think that's why I wanted to do these interviews and kind of talk these things, because every journey is so different. And I think yours just has so many of those avenues, like, similar to mine, where it's got, like, a lot of relatable things for people. So I think that was awesome. I think that's what I wanted you to kind of get out and let people hear, just so that, one, they get to know you, but also because there is a lot of people do see us now, and they're like, wow, like, oh, they can walk on their hands, do backflips and kick flips. And
I don't know about backflips, but
like, they see us now, like, oh, of course he's a coach, like, of course he can do those things. It's like, but I wasn't always a coach. Like,
no,
I used to be 265 pounds. Like, you used to be overweight as well. Like, so we've all had a very, like, I've been doing this since 2020, so it's We're 2020. It's almost 7 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't do this overnight.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a big takeaway.
And I think it's fun to explain those stories and let people kind of hear them out loud, because sometimes they forget about them or they just don't know them.
They don't know. Yeah. There's people who haven't been here. And I think one of the other things, like when I first came back to the gym in 2022, and this is anyone who's a new member or who's ever been nervous about stepping in here, I would say for the first month, I would pull in the parking lot with knots in my stomach. And I just I would be like, okay, just go in. Like, everyone's going to be nice. The coaches are going to be happy to see you. Like, just do it. And then I'd walk in the door and it would be amazing. And I'd leave and I'd feel so good about the work I just did. But like, I've been there. I've had that feeling, very real. And even the fear of like, I couldn't do pull-ups. Like, how am I going to scale a pull-up today? Like, I don't know what option I should do. And, like, getting in my head, like, maybe I shouldn't even go to class because I can't do that movement.
Yeah, you try to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah. And then eventually I, like, just came to know that I wouldn't even look at the workouts. I just show up and trust that the coaches had my back. And they would help me through it. And, that consistency over time just stacks and stacks and stacks. And it's pretty cool how it compounds if you can just stick with it. Like, that's what just stick with it.
It's the sticking with it. It's the consistency and all those variables that just kind of ultimately come together. Like, there's always a lifestyle overhaul once you get started. It's just getting that starting portion. It's always the hardest, but once you do, it's got just bountiful result, effects to it. So but So looking at that, though, your journey, like, again, it's one of those ones that it's very relatable to a lot of people. I relate to it because I went through that. I went through that phase. So now looking at that, you're here today with where you're at. You're still working very hard, but now you're a coach.
Yep.
So looking at that, the last couple of things I just kind of want to discuss is just like, one, what made you kind of want to step into that coaching role? Like, why? And then two, ultimately, it's going to lead into what your coaching philosophy is. And that's kind of just like your approach or what you aim to achieve when you're coaching a class. So we'll start with, why did you decide to coach?
So obviously I love CrossFit. Obviously it changed my life. Like, those are two huge pieces. But I wanted to become a coach because once I started to hit some goals and like really see the progress, I would not be where I am if it weren't for the coaches that were there for me. Like 100%. I will talk about Ken forever.
Ken's
because he, I mean, for real, like, he just happened to be the person coaching the classes I was coming to. But like, he had so many one-liners at the right time that he said to me that I'm sure he never even resonated, made a difference, that like truly changed my life.
Oh, wise Ken.
Like, I just Ken. Like, in class one day, we were just getting ready for class, and he said, he just like out of a sheer like verbalizing, he goes, I'm just kind of tired of people being mad about not getting results for the work they didn't do. And I sat there and I was like, he's talking about me, which I don't think he was, but it resonated. And let me tell you, that is like a philosophy of my own life and training. Like, if I'm not getting a result that I am working toward, I evaluate my actions that are taking me to that. So anyway, like, that's just one example, but I know that, I just know I would not be where I'm at without the support and guidance and consistency and knowledge that has been shared with me by the coaches that are here.
For sure.
And I started to recognize, like, very informally, that I might have some of that knowledge and experience that could help other people. And it honestly started with just like other members asking me questions in classes, or while I was in here doing my own thing, working out, training, they would come over and ask me for nutrition advice or a question about how to do a movement or my input on how they should approach a workout. And I was like, it would excite me. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, let me nerd out and talk with you. And as that started to progress, I started getting some interest in getting my level 1 because, again, love CrossFit. I'm a nerd about it. So I was like, man, I really want to learn more because people are asking me questions. I think it would make me a better athlete and I could help more people. And then at some point, like, it clicked in my brain. I was like, I probably could coach. Like, I might actually be able to do something with this. Yeah. And that was when I talked with Seth, and he was really excited to give me an opportunity to start shadowing you guys and stepping into that group class setting to make sure it was something, because those one-on-one conversations are very different than managing and leading a group class with a lot of people. And I immediately fell in love. Like, we have such a great community and so many people with so many goals who are like working so hard. And I'm like, any way that I can find to support all of our members in their individual ways and like the things that they're looking to achieve and feel in their lives. Like, I just want to be that for them. And it pushes me to grow so I can help them grow. Like, I love it.
I always like the role model idea too, is like it keeps you pushing because you know they're looking up to you in a way. And it's like you don't want to let them down. So you're just like, okay, I gotta keep going too. So I always kind of use that as a little reinforcement too. But okay, cool. So now to kind of like wrap up things, so kind of like that coaching philosophy. So if someone were to like enter your class or be at your class, what is like your philosophy or your like main focus as you're coaching that class? What do you hope to achieve and what are you trying to provide within your class?
I think my biggest thing is I want everyone to feel really clear about the workout they're doing that day and why they're doing it. So I always want to make sure like they understand the intent and that they feel like they're getting options and picking the options that are going to help them reach that. Because like I said, I remember one of my biggest stressors, and heck, I still get this now where I'll like be like, I'm not really sure what I should be doing here. But like, I want to make sure that they feel confident that they're picking the options that work best for them, are going to meet their goals, push them toward their goals, meet them where they're at that day, and accomplish the workout like safely. So that's like the tactical piece. Like, but then I also want them to leave feeling like they just did something really awesome for themselves, because they did. Like, the hardest thing is walking through the door. So I want to acknowledge them for like dragging themselves out of bed, showing up in the cold, showing up in the rain.
At 5 a.m. for those
I coach a lot of those morning classes. So like, the kudos for showing up. Like, I just hope they feel appreciated for like being there, because I know that the farther we get into our journeys, the less credit we give ourselves. So I like really try to help people feel like the pride in what they're doing and the work they're doing for themselves. Like, that's what I want people to leave with every day.
That's awesome. That's a cool focus to have. I think it can get lost, especially in group classes, but it's like keep each individual recognized and feeling good is definitely a huge thing for sure. All right. Well, looking at that, is there anything else you want to lay out there for people that are listening? Tell about yourself, give advice, anything you want to leave this episode off with?
I think like my message to people, there's twofold. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Like, I'm happy to sit down and talk with anyone like more in depth about like the lows of my story, because I think that if I was able to pull myself out of those and get to where I am now and still keep building, that no matter where you're at in like your life fitness journey, like, it's not too late to make a change.
Never too late.
Ever. So like, come talk to me, come talk to one of the coaches here. Like, we can help you make that change. And I think the other one that I have been living by a lot is people overestimate what they can accomplish in 6 weeks, but wildly underestimate what they can accomplish in 6 months or a year. So it's that very consistent, like, day-to-day choices that are smaller that are going to change your life, not doing this big overhaul.
Like a Grand Slam or Hail Mary.
It's not this big crash and burn. It has to be these small, consistent changes and stacking them over time. And like, I'm happy to talk anyone through that or have conversations about it, because I'm just such a believer that those little tiny choices add up into new habits, and you just keep stacking them and your entire life can change. And there's no place better than CrossFit Angola to learn those and be supported and start to make those changes in your life.
Absolutely. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Carmyn, for joining us today. And for those that are listening, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future episodes to come. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.
Thanks.